Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video from Radio 1.
Welcome to Climate Warrior with Bhumi Pednekar and me, Hrishi Kay. The planet has been under crisis for a while now, and it's so important that you and us come together and try and make small changes on a daily basis. And you can't ask for a more beautiful, more intelligent brand ambassadress for the planet than the lovely Bhumi Pednekar. How are you? I'm just so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to be here. In fact, I missed coming on to radio stations live and, chatting everybody up, talking, because especially when we are promoting, the amount of fun we have when we have our radio trails is something I really missed. And I'm very happy that, we are back and the world's coming back to some kind of normalcy.
I have to say this, right from her first film,
That's right.
Her first film, she's one who's always been out on radio trails. She likes to meet people, engage with not only, radio presenters, but also, do meet and greets with people. Every time she comes to the radio station, there are hordes of people, which she always has time for them, which I think is such a wonderful, compassionate thing. So yeah, for us, we've been really missing it. I mean, the video doesn't suffice, and it's just great to have you on ground. And in that aspect, you're very special because you're the first star who's come back onto the network.
And we're talking about something so important today. The series is something that's very, very dear to me because, as you rightly said, I truly believe in the cause. I truly try my level best to champion the cause in every way possible. And I think this is going to be a great collaboration. Most of our conversation is going to be very insightful. We are going to give people quick hacks. We are going to, give them quick ways of how they can adopt a more sustainable lifestyle. I feel there's so much confusion around it. Ki, kya karna hai? What is one supposed to do? Is it going to be a life of inconvenience? Is it going to be expensive? What do you mean by sustainability? And I think hopefully, by the end of the series, we would have a large part of your audience that would have converted positively. So I look forward to the final outcome.
Climate Warrior with Bhumi Pednekar. First topic is called the problem of trash. We accumulate large tons of trash in villages, in cities. And as far as urban India is concerned, the classic problem has been the segregation of trash, and you feel very, very strongly about that, Bhumi.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Our first topic of discussion, segregation of trash or trash in urban India, is maybe one of the largest problems that our urban population is facing today. When you hear things like Bombay alone generates 9,000 tons of trash daily. I mean, just imagine, if one elephant equals 1 ton, we are speaking of about 5,000 elephants, if my math is right. But that's a lot, and the problem is that none of this trash is segregated. What do you mean by segregation of trash? We mean that segregating your own garbage at source, be it industrial or be it domestic. It's not rocket science. It's very easy. It's something that we've adopted for a very, very long time in our house. And at the start of it, everybody was very intimidated by the idea because, human beings are lazy. We like a life of convenience. So just putting in that 5 extra minutes at home can have a huge, huge benefit and can really add on to finding a solution to the problem that we are facing. Deonar, is one of the biggest landfills in Mumbai. The life expectancy over there is actually 39 years. And the largest reason, obviously there are many reasons to it, but the primary one being that our waste is not segregated. Because when we put our wet waste and our dry waste and our biohazardous waste together, it's just a toxic environment. It's just this large mountain of garbage and there's no solution to it. People often burn it. But that's way more harmful to our environment than anything else because it releases so much methane. If you read any of the latest reports, the IPCC report that came in this year says that humanity, our planet, is in a code red situation, that means that we are genuinely heating up, and methane is one of the biggest gases that kind of contributes to the greenhouse gases that's increasing the temperature of our planet. So definitely burning your trash is not an option. So what is your option is segregate it at source, and it's very, very, very simple.
So what Bhumi is basically talking about is you have wet waste and dry waste. At home, you segregate it. You keep different bins for it, maybe even color-coded bins. The society does a recheck. If you're living in a building society, if you're living in a housing bungalow society, then fine, there has to be, again, a check on whether they've been segregated properly before you hand it into the local authorities, which in our case in Mumbai city is the Mumbai Municipal Corporation. If you're watching this from Delhi, it is the NCR and Delhi Municipal Corporations. Composting is something I personally as a Mumbaiker don't see as much of, Bhumi. Surprisingly, when I go to Bangalore in the south of India, lots more people are composting.
Right.
And earthen pots are not very expensive.
Right.
And they're taking their wet waste at least and trying to do interesting things with that. So I'd like to know your thoughts on composting.
So I've been composting for the last 3 years. Actually, it's something that we adopted. And again, at the start of it, we were so confused because we were like, oh, is it going to be smelly? How are we going to do it? The building had a problem at the start of it. But eventually, we converted everyone, right? It's very simple. You can take an earthen pot. Even if you don't want an earthen pot, you have like longer use plastic alternatives available, that are completely recyclable. They're available online, and they actually completely conceal the smell. So the idea is whatever wet waste you collect through the day goes into your composting bin. You can also create one. You just need like different kinds of organic material. You need some soil, you need some water, and all your wet waste goes into it. And over a period of time, it ferments and you actually make manure. So this is what happens in my house. The manure that's made in my composting bin is actually used for my garden. And so we have a circular economy at home. All our dry waste. So by dry waste, I mean everything that's man-made. It's plastic, it's glass, it's metal, is all sent to a recycling plant where they further go segregated. And today, most of your cities, your tier 1, tier 2 cities have companies that come collect your dry waste so that they can go recycle it further. And in our bathrooms, we have a bin which has most of our biohazardous waste, because anything that touches your body goes into that bin. So where composting is concerned, everything, like literally from eggshells to any kind of leftover food to stale food to maybe parts of a vegetable that we might not use to bones, everything goes into that compost bin. So literally, compared to few years ago where we had like bags full of trash that would leave my house, today we have like a small little recyclable theli that leaves my house. It definitely is very, very important for the environment, but it's also very important for your own soul, because I feel so guilt-free doing this.
I was reading somewhere that Singapore does something very, very interesting with their trash. Again, it's a country, even though it's a city, and they have model ways of functioning. What they do is they take all the trash that they generate and they put it into this large incinerator. Now, the incinerator also has effluent treatment. So even though they're burning it, the methane and the other poisonous gases, which are a result of burning trash, that isn't released into the environment. They treat it and, it's released pollution-free into the environment. Also, they're using the vast amounts of energy that they generate because of burning it in the incinerator to create heat and electricity. And I think what we're doing, especially in Mumbai, I think Aditya Thackeray, for example, seems very keen on doing stuff for the environment. I know irrespective of political parties around the country, there are lots of leaders, lots of environmentalists, groups who are turning around and saying, can we use technology, harness it, and use it for energy? Just your thoughts on that.
Technology is our biggest aid where the fight against climate change comes into the picture. It's not the solution, it's our biggest aid. The technology and the science today is so advanced, as you rightly said, what's happening in Singapore. There are various, obviously I'm not an expert, so I don't really know what the mechanism behind it is, but then there are various other systems that actually use the humidity in your environment, that actually use the carbon in your environment to convert it into energy. And as you rightly said, this particular system uses it actually refilters all your poisonous gases to make sure that what's released does not increase the CO2 level in our environment. I think what's really important is for governments and larger industries to actually adopt these systems. See, look, it's very clear. It's the urban classes that are the abusers.
True.
It's not people living in rural India, because they anyways have a very sustainable life. They anyways have a sustainable lifestyle, right? It's us that needs to change. So be it rainwater harvesting, be it segregating your waste at source, or just be it responsible consumption. These are habits that we will have to change.
Wonderful. The problem of trash explained by Bhumi.
If you're composting or segregating your waste at home, this means you're a climate warrior. Call us in or send us your videos of doing the same, and we will celebrate the climate warrior that you are, and you might stand a chance to meet me. I'm climate warrior Bhumi Pednekar. See you soon.
If you like this video, then subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss out on more content.